The next point is point number 80. قال المؤلف رحمه الله واعلم أنها لم تكن زندقة ولا كفر ولا شكوك ولا بدعة ولا ضلالة ولا حيرة في الدين إلا من كلام وأهل الكلام والجدل والمراء وخصومة والعجب. He mentioned, Imaam Al Barbaharee, he said rahimahullah, know that there would not be heresy, no kufr, no doubts, no innovations, no misguidance, no confusion in the religion, except due to rhetoric and the people of rhetoric, meaning the people who apply their logic over the texts, and the people of argumentation and debating and disputation, and those amazed by themselves. وَكَيْفَ يَجْتَرِئُ الرَّجُلُ عَلَى الْمِرَاءِ وَالْخُصُومَةِ وَالْجِدَالِ وَاللَّهُ تَعَالَى يَقُولُ مَا يُجَادِلُ فِي آيَاتِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. So he stated thereafter, how can a man embark upon argumentation, disputation and debating, whilst Allah has said that Allah has said in this ayah from Surah Ghafir that none argues regarding the signs of Allah or the verses of Allah except for those who disbelieve. Then Barbaharee continued this point by saying, فَعَلَيْكَ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ وَالرِّضَى بِالْأَثَارِ وَالْكَفِّ وَالسُّكُوتِ. He said, so upon you is taslim, upon you is submission, and to be pleased and satisfied with the narrations, with the athar, and to stop argumentation, and to stop at the narrations, and to remain silent. Meaning when the narrations come, stop arguing, be silent. So he mentioned here, Sheikh Al-Fawzan Hafidhahullah, he said, likewise, this matter has proceeded in explanation and tahdhiru minhu, that the explanation of this has proceeded and warning against this type of argumentation has proceeded. We already mentioned it, and then he mentions in the footnote the reference of that you can refer back to, and we have discussed it previously. But the point itself is powerful, right? So there's no need to go into a huge amount of detail anyway, though we have previously with the statements of Shaykh Al-Fawzan Hafidhahullah. But the point itself from Barbaharee leaves no room for doubt or maneuver for the one who wishes to bring any doubts. He said, meaning Imaam Al Barbaharee, قَوْلُهُ فَعَلَيْكَ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ وَرِضَى بِالْأَثَارِ وَالْكَفِّ وَالسُّكُوتِ. So, binding upon you is to submit, is submission, and to be pleased and satisfied with the narrations, and to stop argumentation, and to stop at the narrations, and to remain silent when the narrations come. Meaning, عَلَيْكَ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ لِكَلَامِ اللَّهِ وَكَلَامِ رَسُولِهِ. Meaning that upon you is to submit to the speech of Allah and the speech of His Messenger. وَالْكَفِّ عَنِ الْجَدَلِ وَالتَّشْكِيكِ. And to withhold from argumentation and from doubt. For indeed you have been forbidden from that. That you will, because if you enter into that, meaning if you enter into argumentation and debating and jadal and this disputation and debating over the deen of Allah, you open up your religion to debate. So every mubtadi dal, innovator comes to you and you say to him, sit, I will debate with you and I will argue with you about the deen of Allah. This is not our way, barakallahu feekum. Our way is to present the athar, the narrations and the reports from Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to present the ayat from the book of Allah, to present the words of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and the early Salaf. And after that, Sukut. Argumentation and debating, no. We don't sit down and set up platforms of debate and munadarat so that we gather the people in stadiums and on TV, and then we start opening up the religion every week to a new debate. Our deen, walillahi alhamd, as the Salaf used to say, as for me, or Muhammad ibn Sirin said when they came to debate with him, they said, we wish to debate with you. He said, as for me, I know my religion. If you have lost yours, go and look for it somewhere else. So those who know their deen, they don't need to open up their religion to debate and argumentation. This is not how we do it. We say to them, our deen is clear. You want to know where it is? Sharh Sunnah Barbaharee. Usul I'tiqad of Imaam Al Barbaharee. Usul Sunnah of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. As-Sunnah wal-Muzani. As-Sunnah wal-Khallal. This is where our deen is. In detail. Walillahi alhamd. This is where our religion is, because these early Salaf, that they codified it, and they recorded it, and they put pen to paper, and they put it down, and it is available to this day. So those books of Aqidah and Sunnah have been preserved. And in all of these books you find that same statement. In all of these books that I've mentioned, other than them, Ash-Shari'ah of Imam Al-Ajuri, Sari'u Sunnah of Imam Al-Tabari, As-Sunnah wal-Muzani. In all of these books of the early Salaf, one thing that you find repeated over and over again, do not argue. وَتَرْكُ الْمِرَاءِ وَالْجِدَالِ فِي الدِّينِ. And to leave off from the foundations of the Sunnah is to leave off argumentation and debating and disputing regarding the religion. Why are you going to dispute with someone regarding the Khawarij? The issue of the Khawarij is clear. Walillahi alhamd. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he went to them, he debated them, and he annihilated them. And he did not flatter them, nor did he praise them, nor did he make them feel good about what they're doing. He annihilated them, walillahi alhamd. And at every point, ayah, hadith. And he would not let them come back with anything else. And they were not able to. He said, what is your dispute with the cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What is your dispute with him? And what is your dispute with the Muhajirin and the Ansar, amongst whom the Quran was revealed? And none of them are sitting here amongst you. Look at the quwwah and the strength of the man who brings the afar, and then they have to stop at that. The way of the people of Sunnah, and for the average person, and for the small student of knowledge, and for any student of knowledge in reality, the origin of the affair is tarkul mira'i wal jidal fid din. That's the origin. The origin of the affair, not the other way around. It is not that the origin is to debate and the exception is not to debate. Rather, origin is to abandon debating in the religion. As the Salaf said, or as that great Imam said, as for me, I know my religion. If you have lost yours, go look for it somewhere else. And as Imam Malik said, rahimahullah ta'ala, that the one who opens up his religion to debating, then he will be constantly changing. Today he's Ahlul Sunnah, tomorrow he'll be Jahmi, third day Mu'tazili, then next he'll be Khariji, then he'll be a Murji, then he'll be a Qutubi, then he'll be Ikhwani, then he'll be a Tablighi, then he'll be a Maturidi. Every time he debates with someone who is stronger in debate, he will change his religion. He will change his madhab. Ahlul Sunnah, their aqidah is one. Their usul are one. Their tawheed is one. Their foundations are one. Their messenger is one. The methodology of the Salaf in aqidah and manhaj is one. So why are you going to debate to be convinced? Do you need to be convinced? If Barbaharee didn't convince you, and Ahmad ibn Hanbal didn't convince you, and Al-Muzani didn't convince you, and Malik ibn Anas didn't convince you, and Sufyan ibn Uyayna didn't convince you, and Sufyan al-Thawri didn't convince you, and al-Zuhri didn't convince you, then who is going to convince you 14 centuries later? With debate and argumentation, I have not known a person, my brothers and sisters, who entered into this path of argumentation and debate except that he went astray. No one from the smaller students of knowledge or from the students of knowledge. If you find, as Shaykh Rabi used to say, if you find the likes of Ibn Taymiyyah and Al-Albani and Ibn Abbas, welcome, go. Those are exceptions. Those are exceptions, barakallahu feekum. And even in those debates of Ibn Abbas, or the likes of Ibn Taymiyyah, or the likes of Al-Albani, you don't find any flattery towards the people of bid'ah. No flattery. There is no mention of how great they are and how good they are. And the thing is, the more lowly they are, then the more distant you should be. The more distant you should be from praising them. And by praising them, and anyone who praises them whilst talking to them, meaning towards Ahlul Bid'ah and the corners to Bid'ah, the one who praises him shows the weakness in his character, weakness in his iman, weakness in his knowledge, weakness in his istiqamah, and weakness in his following of the Salaf and the Sahaba radiyallahu anhu. Weakness in all of these. So if a person displays all of these affairs, then he's the last one who should be talking to the people of Bid'ah. And by talking to them and debating them and falling flat on his face, then he has shown that he is in reality a person who has fallen into Bid'ah. Because from the affairs, look at the statement of Barbaharee so that you fully understand what Imaam Al Barbaharee said. So you don't have to listen to any of these people today. Look at the strength of these words. وَاعْلَمْ know أَنَّهَا لَمْ تَكُنْ زَنْدَقَةٌ وَلَا كُفْرٌ وَلَا شُكُوكٌ وَلَا بِدْعَةٌ وَلَا ضَلَالَةٌ وَلَا هِيرَةٌ فِي الدِّينِ إِلَّا مِنْ الْكَلَامِ وَأَهْلِ الْكَلَامِ وَالْجَدَلِ وَالْمِرَاءِ وَالْخُصُومَةِ وَالْعُجْبِ. Look what he mentioned, the last thing, ujb, meaning that no, that there would not have been any zandaqah. Zandaqah is like heresy, from the worst forms of bid'ah that take a person to kufr. And there would not be any kufr, no any doubts, no innovations, no misguidance, dalala, no confusion in the religion, except due to rhetoric and the people of rhetoric and argumentation and debating and disputation, and those who are amazed by themselves. You see that those who enter into these types of debates, you see them amazed with themselves. This ta'ajjub, this feeling that they are high and mighty, that who is there that can overpower me? Ilm, I've got something. Whereas if you look at the likes of Muhammad ibn Sirin, Al-Hasan al-Basri, Imam Malik ibn Anas, Barbaharee, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, that they all used to warn from this, and they used to fear for this type of debating for the people, that you don't enter into this, don't feel amazed with yourself. Look what Ibn Battah said rahimahullah ta'ala in Al-Ibana, when he mentioned the warning against sitting with Ahlul Bid'ah, and he used the hadith of Ad-Dajjal.